Hey guys, what's up? It's Queenie here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make this amazing hair growth rinse, and I'm going to be using some of my favorite ingredients from my hair growth oil, and it's super easy. So all you're going to need is rosemary oil, water, lavender oil, peppermint oil, and whatever other essential oils you want to use. So let's get into this. Alright, so first things first, you're going to take a small pot and place it on your stove, and we're going to add 2 cups of water. You can obviously make double the batch if you'd like, but I'm starting with 2 cups. Turn your stove to high heat and bring this water to a boil before you do anything. So now that it's boiling, it's time to add our herbs. And today we're going to be using rosemary, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And for this batch, you want to use either 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary or 2 tablespoons of fresh rosemary. You can use whatever you have handy at the time. You could use dried or fresh. Just make sure you use the right measurements depending on what you're using. So as I mentioned, rosemary is one of my favorite herbs for hair growth, and studies have shown that rosemary can work better than conventional hair loss treatments, even like Rogaine. Rosemary heals the scalp, promotes circulation, and strengthens the hair cuticles. So consistent use of rosemary can show significant improvement in your hair growth, as I have seen. The nice thing about this rinse is that it helps add moisture to the hair instead of just dousing your hair in oil, and it is more affordable than just using pure rosemary oil all the time. It's also known to be really great for itchy scalp and dandruff. If you do have that issue as well, this might also be a good thing to use, not just for hair growth, but to help your scalp repair itself in that way. So now that I've added my herbs to the water, you can see the color is starting to turn a bit yellow. So we want to bring the heat to a low simmer, maybe around like a 3, and we are going to let this sit on the stove and simmer for about 5 minutes. So you want to get the lid to the pot and cover it and let it steep for 5 minutes. Well, I guess simmer, not steep. And that's it. You don't want to do it any longer. 5 minutes is just enough to infuse the water and get the benefits you need. Okay, so 5 minutes later, this is what our water is looking like. So you can turn off the heat and remove it from the burner. The color is slowly becoming more rich, which is what we want. So just remove it from the heat and place it on a cool spot so it can cool down fully. So now we're gonna let this infused water sit and completely cool before we use it. When we come back, you will see the difference in color. So it really needs this time to sit. Make sure you allow it to cool completely, and you will see what I mean by the time it's cooled, and the shift in color will tell you that it's ready. Alright, so this is what it should look like after the water is completely cooled. Now it looks like a deep orange pico black tea kind of situation. So this is how you want your water to look before you strain it, and that's basically it. So we're gonna strain it and get rid of all the rosemary bits, obviously, because you don't want that in your hair. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our essential oils. So for the essential oils, these are the ones that I prefer, but go ahead and play around with them. Just make sure you use rosemary for the water infusing and rosemary oil to add into the water. So now I'm going to be adding my rosemary oil. If you use fresh rosemary, you're more likely to get natural oils coming into the water, but because I didn't, I like to add a bit more. I like to add about 8 to 10 drops in my 2 cups. And now I'm adding about 6 drops of lavender oil. So lavender is also really great for your scalp, and it helps heal the scalp. And then now I'm also adding 6 drops of peppermint oil. This is great for stimulating the scalp, promoting circulation, and I just love the feeling of it, so I need peppermint oil. But again, feel free to add other oils that you like or to substitute these oils. Just make sure you keep the rosemary oil. And then now I'm just stirring it all together. Just to make sure you do this right before you mix it so it's even in your bottles. And I am pouring it into a 3-ounce bottle. So I'm doing 3 batches of 3-ounce bottles, so you should be able to get about 9 ounces, I believe, from this batch, give or take. But of course, you can use any bottle, squeeze bottles, spray bottles, whatever you think is easiest. I'm just using this little bottle that I can squeeze onto my head. I find that the best. Alright, so now for the application process. Usually one bottle is enough for me, but if you have more hair, obviously you can use more because there's a backup. And all you do is basically squeeze it onto your scalp and on your strands. Make sure you get every single part of your scalp. Really take your time, split your hair into pieces and kind of work it through and hydrate your hair. It should be everywhere, like your scalp and your strands from root to tip, and just take your time, massage it in, and saturate your hair and make sure it's nice and wet. So you have a few options when you're applying this. You can leave it in for a few hours and wash it out the same day if you like, or you could do it like me and just leave it completely. Like this is just a leave-in for me. So you can see that using some of the herbs that I've been focused on, my hair growth journey is coming along pretty well. We're about to hit 2 years next month since my big chop, and I think things are pretty good. So as you can see, I'm continuing the process. I'm working in small parts, and I never work in small parts, so you can probably understand the importance of this. So yeah, make sure you section it properly. Make sure you get your roots, because those are the most important parts. We want to create that stimulation and blood circulation so your hair will be in a good space to grow, or your scalp, I should say, will be in a good space to grow. So take your time and saturate your hair. It should be like soaking wet by the time you're done. Maybe not soaking wet, but it shouldn't be anywhere near dry. And then I'm just gonna leave it and style my hair as normal, and that's it. But again, you have the option to rinse it out if for some reason you don't like the feeling of it or the smell or whatever. Just use it as a treatment and rinse it out after, no big deal. And just another reminder to make sure you get it through your strands really well, because rosemary is also great for strengthening the hair, and this will in turn give you less breakage and you will be able to retain your length even more. So you want to be able to grow the hair from your scalp and also retain it, so make sure you get it on your scalp and your hair. So now I'm going to just put it up into a bun and leave it. I probably will braid it later and just put it under a wig. And again, you can kind of decide what you want to do after this. Rinse it out, leave it in. Anything works. I prefer to leave it in, and I feel like I get more of the benefits that way. So I'm just going to put it into a bun, and that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. There have been a few herb treatments that I've been using, and that's been really helping my hair, and this is just a small part of it, but also a really important part. So you guys can see my hair growth journey is doing pretty well. I measured my hair and it came up to 11 inches, and we're about to hit 2 years since my big chop next month, which is pretty good. So I'm growing almost half an inch per month, which is amazing. And when it's shrunk up, it's about 4 inches long, so you know, shrinkage. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you can get more information on my other hair growth treatments. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.